Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Oh, yeah.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a treat.
Why do I never get tired of that song?
I want that song to play at my funeral.
That will be duly noted.
Listen, now we've had this conversation before. There's some very specific things I have for the funeral. First of all, it's got to be an open bar at the back of the service. And loud music playing. Loud music playing.
Yes.
It's got to be a party atmosphere. If you want to get up front and you want to say something, you go right ahead. Otherwise, you get in the back and you drink. Then I have, as you recall, Craig, I have two other wishes. I want my remains scattered throughout the Disney World properties. And then the second request is I do not want to be cremated. So.
Okay, well, there you go. Foot here, toe there, leg there.
Wherever you want to put them. Up to you. You decide. You decide. I'm thinking Pirates of the Caribbean might be a good one, but you decide. You decide. You know?
Yeah, we'll put your private appendage on It's a Small World.
There you go. That'll work. That'll work. I would be you, Craig, wanting to put that one near all the kids. That would be.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So how was your flying yesterday?
Went well. It was a good day. Good day of flying. Good day of flying.
Well, you landed well, so that's good.
We're in the air and then we're on the ground, so it was good. It's good. Yeah. Probably
There you go. It's
probably a
a
little
good
bit
day
too
of
soon after my shooting incident on Sunday, but other than that, it was okay.
a little too soon after your shooting incident.
Oh, I have not spoken to you about this. Okay.
No, you have not spoken to me about your shooting incident. Please do tell.
Right.
Do tell.
We were at the range and we shoot. We do a steel challenge once a month. Myself and Earl, and sometimes Jason from Arms Room Radio, and caught a fluke ricochet with a lead 9mm round to the forehead. So that was. You could kind of hold on.
Okay. So here's what's funny. I'm looking at my screen and I'm going like, okay, let me see if I can. Maybe there's something on my screen.
I took the butterflies came off this morning. It had pressure bandages and everything all over it. And this is, you probably be able to see there's a half moon scab there from where the bullet hit it. Yeah.
Now, how close were you guys to the steel?
Now, again, we were in the safe area, but somehow the angle on the target, the metal target, got moved during the shoot. So instead of being in the safe area, we ended up not being in the safe area, and I was within 10 to 15 yards of it.
Oh, ouch. Yeah. So in other words, someone shot you in the forehead.
Yeah, mild concussion. It was probably going up. They said somewhere between 300 and 500 feet per second.
Ugh.
Mild concussion. It's a good thing I was sitting down loading mags, otherwise it'd knocked me over. But
ouch.
Just make sure you understand, folks. You know the signs of a concussion. So, because I did like I always did, playing sports or in the military, just drove on right through it. So I kept shooting, drove home, went to the cigar bar, and the next day remembered none of it. So.
Oh wow. Well, they say that being shot in the forehead can be traumatic. Well, for you, evidently not.
No, all good. All good.
Good stuff. Well, I'm glad that you are doing well. How did you do in the competition?
Surprisingly much better after I got shot. than I did before I got shot. So
Survival instincts kicked in.
it's like I went on lockdown mode. You know, we went from goofy ha ha to lockdown mode. Yeah, just dialed it in. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad that you are okay. I'm glad that you had a successful flight. Like I said, a successful flight is where you take off, you fly, and then you land safely.
Any landing
that's a
you can
successful
walk away
flight.
from is good. Yeah, any landing you can walk away from is good. And we've seen that tragically not happen in the last week or two on 3 different occasions. So
There you go. That does happen to be it. Not walking away from a landing is a thing. We now know that.
yes, very much so.
All right, well, let's go ahead and let's get ready to get into today's program. But before we do, let's start off with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the last 5 years, probably got one of their barrels, don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct for your next AR rifle or pistol build. That's AR rifles or pistol barrels available. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you could take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want a gun, if you got a gun store or you got an agency and you want to buy a big bunch of property all at once, and you want to get some great gear, just fill everybody out, get on over to uscombatgear.com. You can get all sorts of gear for military, fire, law enforcement, security. You can get everything except the gun there at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. And also want to remind you, coming up next weekend, not this upcoming weekend, but the following weekend, Mike and I will both be at 2A Freedom Fest at Runaway Campers in Summerfield, Florida. Tons of speakers. There will be tons of really good Second Amendment speakers. Once again, that is 10 days and 15 hours from today. You're going to want to go there. You're going to want to hear from folks like Tom Knighton of Bearing Arms, Jared Yanis of Guns and Gadgets, Eric Pratt from Gun Owners of America. I think you know those two guys, Mr. Piwowarski and Mr. Deleuze. We've got Amanda Suffolk from Eye on the Target Radio, Eric Friday, Dan Was, and many, many more. Come on out. If you want to learn more, just go to 2afreedomfest.com. I'm sorry, freedomfestival.com. I always cut that one short. 2afreedomfestival.com. Also want to encourage you, please take a moment and visit our sponsors. If you want to check them out, all you have to do is go follow the links in the description to this program, and you can go to any one of our sponsors, check them out, spend some money with them. And when you do, make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you.
That's us.
That would be us. Finally, want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, please make sure like, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. And if you're watching us live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, go ahead and comment. We're following your comments. If we like what you have to say, or if we at least just find it interesting, we'll go ahead and we'll share it with the audience. So go ahead and do that today. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Rumble will be where you are watching us live. So go there if you want to watch us live. If you're not watching us live and you'd like to watch us live at a future date.
You can also watch us live in the studio audience. If you want to join us, just reach out to Craig and let him know.
Just reach on out. Just reach right through your camera. Just and say, hey, Craig. And I will ignore you. Anyway, moving right along. Speaking of being ignored, Democrats are losing their minds as DOGE continues its noble work of, of making America great again. It is interesting because one of the things that's starting to happen is they are losing their minds and they're actually going to the streets and they are declaring violence. I mean, they're talking pretty violent. And here's just some of the instances of Democrats out there and the violence that they are promoting.
This is an attempt to take us back to a day that we do not want to go and we will not go. Therefore, there will be conflict. I pray that the peace of God will win out and overcome the madness that is attempting to take over this nation. And I will say to you, beloved, no one likes violence, but sometimes violence is necessary. When Elon Musk forces his way into the United States Treasury and threatens to steal your personal information and your Social Security check, there is the possibility of violence. Sometimes the devil will act so ugly that you have no other choice but to get violent and fight.
Everybody out here has the power to do something, and we will find a way to do it together. This fight.
I'll cut that one short. Let's go to the next one.
There is an economic coup happening right here in the Treasury and right there in Trump's White House. But there's a revolution happening right here on these streets.
Everybody out here has the power to do something, and we will find a way to do it together. This fight is not for the feeble. It is not for the faithless. This will be a congressional fight, a constitutional fight, a legal fight, and on days like this, a street fight.
And right now, all across America, people are knocked down, but they are getting up and they are going to fight the dictator of Donald Trump and his henchmen.
See you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi nutball baby.
Now, Mike, I do believe that when a Republican says stuff like that, they are inciting insurrection and violence. Sounded pretty like instigaty, violenty to me.
They need to understand, Craig, who they're dealing with here. This is not going to be much commotion. They're just going to go to jail. They've made threats and called for violence. I believe that's the entire basis for alleging what Donald Trump did during the January 6th tourism event, when he said to go over there and make your voices heard, is all he said. Yet they're calling for outright violence and tried to lay criminal charges on him. Well, then I expect the same to happen here. They publicly got out and said they called for violence. They should be arrested. There's no disputing what they said. There's no bad interpretation of what they said compared to what Donald Trump said. Prepare to be handcuffed. Prepare to be put in jail. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it.
Well, one would think.
Go ahead. Yeah, right. Their argument is nonsense, right? I mean, Elon Musk is trying to steal people's personal information. You know, Craig, so he can steal their information and take their $200-300 checks away from them because he needs that money to survive.
Well, you know, Mike, what gets me is it's not like he hasn't had the ability to get their info. I mean, dude, have you not bothered to read the things that you sign, the things you waive when you sign up for Twitter or you sign up for Facebook? If he wants your information, he's got your information. I mean, really?
So let's say he wants their fight is, Craig, that he's going to get my banking history and my social security number, and he doesn't have the proper clearance to do that. The ultimate classifying and declassifying authority for all intelligence information in this country is the commander-in-chief. That's the president of the United States. If he looks over and he goes, Craig, you got top secret special compartmented information clearance. You have top clearance now. Mm-hmm. You have it. That's all there is to it. There's no taking it back. And if there is, only he can take it back. So if their only concern is he doesn't have clearance, hey, Elon, you got clearance. Here's the letter. There you go. Put that in your pocket.
He is the one who has who has full discretion to declassify any information, and he does not have to do it in writing. He can do it verbally or orally, however you want to put it.
He doesn't have to declassify information. He could say to Elon, "You now have the clearance to look at all information."
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
But even with all that, Mike, it's the idea that that the richest man in the world would decide, I want access to your payment information so that I can steal your social security check because I don't already have enough hundreds of billions of dollars that I have to steal grandma's social security check.
Yeah. You heard the real reason behind this, and the one black gentleman there that was it Markey? Is that his name? He said it.
Kwasi and Fumi.
Yeah. He said.
Mm-hmm.
He said that this is going to affect the Congress.
There you go.
There it is. You're taking away the slush funds that these people have for either giving grants or other funds to other people to garner votes. The money that they use to buy votes is going away.
The money that goes to their friends who run the NGOs,
Yep.
the non-governmental organizations, for those of you who don't know what that term means, that they're the ones who are going to be affected. The union bosses, the federal union bosses who who want to increase and grow the size of their unions simply so that they can bring in more union dues, they are going to be affected. Here's the thing, and don't get me wrong, if you are a federal employee, I realize you probably you probably do work hard for your money. But in the end, what it comes down to is the federal government, the government in general it's not an employment agency. It's not the government's role to employ you. It's the government's role to provide various different services and needs to the people. Now, we may disagree. I think we can reasonably disagree what those services should be, but I think we definitely ought to all agree that we ought not be wasting money by paying people to do stuff or paying for programs that do absolutely nothing to serve the people.
The president at any given time has got 5,000 federal jobs available to him to use to carry out any programs or special programs that he wants. And that number's in Congress, that he could just appoint people to it. And I think the examination so far took a look at that and said, oh, by the way, during President Trump's first administration, he didn't use barely any of those people. He didn't fill those positions. President Biden filled all 5,000 of them. And of that, so far, they've taken a look at 4,700 of them were reward jobs. Oh, you helped me during the campaign, or you helped us and you've been loyal. Here's a job for you. And they're giving them jobs that you're making $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 a year to do nothing.
Exactly. And then, as Fox News is pointing out here, Democrats are saying this has got to stop. House Dems face backlash for promoting physical violence at DOGE protests. And you just heard that's what they did. Reading here a little bit from the Fox News story, a Democratic congressman is facing heat from media after promoting the idea of a street fight at the protest, pushing back against Elon Musk's recent efforts. Okay, let's be very clear, folks. They are actually fighting. They want to fight. They are inciting violence in order to give money, taxpayer dollars, to their friends and to their union bosses. That's what they're fighting for, to increase the size of government and take money away from you, the taxpayer. They are willing to fight to keep doing that.
Normally, Craig, I'd say something like, go ahead, pick a fight with the people that have the guns. That's a really good plan. You should do that. But it's not even worth it. I think all of us are just sitting back going, you all see what they're saying, right? You hear the idiocy coming out of this. And then that they want to continue to steal the money from us that we just found out they're stealing from us, right? You hear that? And it's only going to take a couple more days of that before the rest of the nation goes, sit down, get back to work. It's not what we hired you for.
Well, and once again, I want to be very clear. This is a 60-40 issue. People agree with what he is doing. Right now, with everything going on, he's got like a 56, 57% approval rating. Amongst Gen Zers, 55% approval rating.
Yeah, let me see you stand up and fight for $20 million to have an Iraqi Sesame Street. Let me see. Get up and fight for that. Go up and fight for it. Let me see you fight for it.
No. Don't forget the $8 million in subscriptions to Politico.
Oh, yeah. And let's not forget, as much as I'm a military guy and I like sushi, let's not forget how many million was it of dollars to have sushi at the Pentagon?
Oh, I do not know, but I do know that they spent $8 million to study the effects of flavored tobacco on bisexuals and lesbians.
Clearly, information we cannot exist without.
I woke up this morning wondering, how is flavored tobacco going to affect bisexuals and lesbians? In fact, because flavored tobacco is no longer legal in the state of California, I have to believe that many bisexuals and lesbians have been made criminals as they seek to smuggle it into the state of California because it is such an addicting thing. Because it is such an addicting thing for bisexuals and lesbians.
You got black market operations mixing chewing tobacco and pudding. They're trying to take care of the problem, Greg. Yeah.
The examples are just going to get worse. So we're going to go ahead and move on and bring up a couple more examples. These are ones that you are going to absolutely positively love. As DOGE continues to do their work, Big Balls is on the job doing his thing, and he is exposing more and more of the government waste. This was an interesting one. DOGE had a contract for $168,000 for an Anthony Fauci museum exhibit, and that has been terminated. Let me read here, reporting from Breitbart. A contract for a pricey museum exhibit for Dr. Anthony Fauci has been canceled as the Department of Governmental Efficiency exposes rampant waste. DOGE, which is led by Elon Musk, made the announcement in a social media post on Friday, explaining that officials with the Department of Health and Human Services made swift work of canceling millions of dollars worth of contracts, Fox News reported Sunday. In the last 48 hours, HHS canceled 62 contracts worth $182 million. These contracts were entirely for administrative expenses. None touched any healthcare programs. This included terminating a $168,000 contract for an Anthony Fauci exhibit at the NIH Museum, the Post read. Now, Mike, I thought... Once again, I just want to say this. This is why are we spending money on an exhibit, a museum exhibit to Anthony Fauci, a person who we now know lied to us about a great many things, in particular related to COVID, but about a great many other things.
Craig, I think maybe I'd like to see this one. I'd like to have a $168,000 animatronic version of Dr. Fauci, just because President Biden has already given a pardon to Dr. Fauci, but the animatronic version won't have that pardon. And maybe we could arrest the pardon and put arrest the robot and put the robot on trial, put the robot in jail. That way we feel some degree of closure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. But interesting concept. You get an A for effort. How about that?
All right. Okay.
But and then, folks, keep in mind, this is the guy who basically lied about the fact that him and the NIH contributed money to the Wuhan lab where they wound up actually where COVID actually came from. He lied about masks, not once but twice. He lied about. He lied about.
Are you telling me that the Wuhan coronavirus came from the Wuhan coronavirus laboratory?
Yeah, it did. It did. Believe it or not.
Right? I thought it came from the wet market.
No. Well, what sounds no, because see, we're racist. So because we're racist, we actually believe that the Wuhan virus came from the Wuhan lab. As opposed to people who thought it came from, a Chinese person biting a bat, because that's not racist theory at all.
Just, I don't know, Craig. I don't know if I can fathom that the Wuhan coronavirus came from the Wuhan coronavirus laboratory. I don't know if I can deal with that.
Or as our good friend Mr. Stewart would say, it's kind of like saying that all of a sudden there's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near the chocolate factory in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was because a turkey bit a turtle or something.
Because a turkey bit a turtle. There you go.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with with that. There you go. But Mike, what's really funny is you've got these same people who are promoting violence. These are the same people who evidently, they're not quite as, how shall we say, sturdy as one would want to believe. So they're going to come out and they're going to come after us, and they're going to come after conservatives and after DOGE. But these are the people who are so sensitive that according to reports, a university had to put over 200 trigger warnings on Shakespeare's writings. This is what some students have said. This is being reported by Fox News. It says a university located in the UK that put put more than 200 trigger warnings on the writings of William Shakespeare, told students to be aware of blood, psychological trauma, and extreme weather, says the request came from the students who had experienced trauma. Content warnings were requested by students with sensory processing issues and experiences of trauma, a University of West of England Bristol spokesman told Fox News Digital. The university flagged a sum of 220 trigger warnings for students. Quote, "We agreed to include content warnings in this case to enable our students to engage with the materials with advanced knowledge of the content," the spokesman said. Now, Mike, this is a generation of folks that for some reason they believe that they're going to kick MAGA's butt, kick DOGE's butt, but they can't handle harsh words in Shakespeare.
Craig, I don't know if you've ever taken an English literature test when you weren't prepared. It can be pretty scary. But this is like you said, it's so dumbfounding to think about it. We're gonna take the fight to the streets that the money we're stealing from you, or road.
Yeah, I don't get it. I just clearly 100% do not get it.
Nay,
I say.
nay, Tasha Kaur.
Nay, I say nay. All right, let's see. Where does that bring us to now? Oh, here's the other one. So you heard a lot of the rigmarole and people being angry and upset and people claiming he's trying to ethnically cleanse the Gazans out of Gaza, right? Well, there's an interesting thing that's going on now, and that is Gazan citizens actually asking, saying, we'd like to be relocated out of Gaza. This being reported by over at the Washington Free Beacon, quote, "I'm asking Trump himself to relocate us. Gazan citizens say they want out." As President Donald Trump moves forward with his plan to own Gaza and relocate its inhabitants, some citizens of the war-torn Strip are expressing an eagerness to leave, citing a desolate living situation and an eagerness to live in, quote, "a country where you can hold your head up high." The remarks stem from interviews conducted by the Center for Peace and Communications, a New York-based nonprofit known for producing on-the-ground videos in Gaza, Syria, and other Iran-dominated areas in the Middle East. Now, Mike, I gotta believe that this just makes sense. I mean, you've been in war-torn countries, right? And you know that right now, the way Gaza is, it is about as war-torn as it can possibly get. You got to think that really what they want is they want to live a place where they can have hot water, where they can have a roof over their head, where they can actually have a chance to get a job, go to school, yada, yada, yada. It just seems to make sense, especially since Trump is talking about the relocation being temporary.
Yeah, Craig, everybody went to a panic when Donald Trump said that, listen, we're going to own this problem. By the way, he didn't mean we were going to sign the papers and take over the land. He means we're not going to let this problem go by the wayside. We're going to get involved in this and own this problem. You've got the other tribes of the kingdoms of Arabia out there that are sitting there on their hands doing nothing. They won't support the Palestinians because they think the Palestinians are the lowest class of Muslims, so they're on their own. They will not assist them. And everybody said, well, the world will take them. Nobody's going to take them. Well, just earlier today, Craig, the king of Jordan came to the White House and said, you know what? We're going to help you own it. We're going to take 2,000 refugee children and we're going to take them into Jordan and we're going to help to solve this problem. We're going to help, place these citizens somewhere else. So when the rest of the world laughed at President Trump and said the tribes of the Kingdom of Arabia, and that's every Muslim country out there, said they weren't going to do this. Well, guess what they're doing? They're
and that's good to see. And there's a reason why they're taking the kids and not everybody. All right, because let's be honest, they have instituted or tried to overthrow the government. And what part of the problem is those in Jordan, those in Egypt, those in Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying that they have the best and freest governments, but they don't want to have to deal with revolutionaries in their country, right? They don't want to have to deal with that, because that's what oftentimes comes with allowing the with taking in the Palestinians. So there's a reason why they don't want it. But it's good to see that Jordan is at least saying, okay, look, we're going to take care of the kids. But in the end, they're going to have to, these nations are going to have to start to take these folks in, because the truth is, we here in the United States have taken in more Gazans than the countries that, by the way, happen to be right next to Gaza.
Yeah, and we know this, like it happened in Jordan, it happened in Lebanon. They became war-torn countries themselves when they took the Palestinians in, because they just wanted to be criminals, is basically what they wanted to do. They wanted to be criminals. Bring in the children, perhaps we can educate them, get them to be honest members of society. As for the rest of them, Craig, there's a lot of open spaces out there. A lot of open spaces. Everybody could carve up hey, here's 100 square miles for you. You could build your own. We'll help you build your own new Palestine. You could go wherever you want. But they haven't done it yet. But I think it's coming.
Yes.
We'll build your new Palestine city, the new city of Palestine, wherever you want it. We'll be right here in the middle of the desert.
There you go.
We can help you out.
Make it happen, baby. All right, folks, so that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. All right, so our first one here. Yesterday we started playing this, and I decided I was going to break this one up because it's a pretty long video. But it's the Sanford & Son Maxine Waters episodes. And I found these to be hilarious. I played the first part yesterday. We're going to go ahead and play the second part for you today.
Come in.
Ho, ho, ho. I bring you the greetings of Yuletide.
Ho, ho, ho. Go down to the ocean side and stand in the low tide until the high tide and commit suicide.
You don't upset me. I have the feeling of Christmas.
And the face of Halloween.
Watch it, sucker.
Listen, I don't want to make you mad, because when you get mad, your bottom lip look like you wearing a brown turtleneck sweater.
Bob, didn't you learn anything from the group? Now, I'm sure there's at least one thing that you can think of good to say. Now, think about it and say it.
Watch it. Careful. Look out.
What I'm trying to say is that you're overly generous. Every time you open up your mouth, you give away your ignorance.
Poor little couch. I know you haven't been dusted in years.
My, poor little couch. I bet this is the first time you've been sat on by a buffalo.
It's funny. You should see some of these. If you go back and you watch Sanford & Son, it's interesting that you could not put that stuff on TV today.
Nope, absolutely not. It was very cutting edge, and now we've gotten to the point today where you can't have that kind of stuff anymore. Between that and All in the Family, which was on at the same time, all of a sudden,
and the Jeffersons.
Yeah, and the Jeffersons.
Good stuff.
George can dance. George was a dancing fool. Yeah, I love the way George.
All right, this next one here, it explains pretty much, kind of the relationship between men and guns. So I think you'll like this.
Hard to convince people to like guns as well. That's sort of true for women. Men, very easy sell. Every one of my guy friends, I'll be like, "Do you like guns?" Like, I've never liked guns. You know me, Jeff. I'm from Seattle. We don't do guns. And I'm like, and it only takes like, I don't know, one bullet. Right? You'll teach them a little about the gun. You'll hand it to them. You'll have them shoot it. They'll go, poof, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, I get it. I get this." Yeah, that felt pretty good. I think I'm a Republican now, actually. This is, wow. Yeah. Maybe that election was rigged. Fuck. Yeah, this feels pretty good. Hard to
Pull that
convince
happy
people to
switch
like
and
guns as well.
it turns-
Sorry about that, Mike. For some reason, I didn't have the sound on that one. Yeah, it's weird because when you really think about it, I know guys, liberals, even liberals, who are like, I'm not into guns, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, okay, I kind of feel it. By the way, as much as he doesn't want to admit it, a lot of girls too, once they fire that gun for the first time, they're down with guns.
Yeah. And it's funny too because you'll see the look on their face. They get happy, then they get sad because they're like, geez, now I have to lie about this.
Right.
It's just
Well, exactly. They'll come up to you. They used to come up to me at the cabin and be like, I like shooting. Shh,
Yeah.
don't tell anybody. Like they're telling me their deepest, darkest secrets.
Yep.
Speaking of deepest, darkest secrets, this next one is brought to you by our friends over at the Babylon Bee, fake news that you can trust. It says here, study finds people trying to stop financial audit have absolutely nothing to hide.
Yeah, no coincidence there at all. Yeah, nothing. No correlation, Craig. No correlation.
Funny how that works, huh? Yeah, definitely funny how that works. And then also we've got from the Babylon Bee, PBS drops DEI, announcing Birch and Ernie are now straight.
I gotta say, Bert and Ernie were always straight. I don't believe that they were anything other than. Now they might have played a lot of gay chicken, but they were always straight.
Well, believe it or not, there are people who tried to promote the idea that they were gay.
Yeah,
I've never believed that.
well, Ernie's he's an old Vietnam vet, so he knows how to get into people's heads. So
Okay. Good stuff. All right, folks. Well, that brings us around to the end of the program. But before we go, we got one more thing to do. That's right. One more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get AR rifle barrels and AR pistol barrels at any length, any caliber you desire for your next AR rifle or pistol build. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you could take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in tactical gear, field gear, outdoor gear, medical, military, EMS, fire, whatever it happens to be, get on over to uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment, visit our sponsors. Just follow the links in the description of this program. Tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. All right, that's going to be it for today's program. We'll be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, remember, send a few downrange. We will holler at you mañana.